the population today, I mean, we are seeing the society is striving. For example, the other day there was a talk on the healing nature of gratitude, right? So when Harvard Medical School tells me that gratitude is good for my better well-being, then my intellect accepts it and says, oh, I have to be now grateful from now onwards. You see? This is what's happening. So this is anyway happening, but it is all at the intellectual level. But they don't have the tool to transcend the intellect. They don't have the tool. They need an intellectual tool to destroy their intellect. You see? And that's where art comes in. And that's where the conceptual framework that you can select your own icons and you can select your own thing and you select your own ritual formats as a beginning, as an intermediate step before you jump into anything else. This will appeal. Of course, we are not evangelists or something. I'm just proposing this as this concept of Penta Polytheism also I'm proposing as a framework. So it is just as a thought, but everything is organic. Everything is individually driven. It is not at all forced. It's not somebody is telling you something. You do it. This is just a framework. It's a conceptual art. Again, it's a concept. It's not something that that's put down on anybody or anything like that. It's just a concept. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that because for me, conceptual art is my art, and thought is my art, and material aspect of it. I as a framework, I'm just saying that a montage is the way that individually they can create their own montages of any particular category. So it's up to them in a material way. But that is, I thought I should share my artistic expression of a Penta Polytheism, so to speak. I see this Pew Research and this concept of spiritual but not religious. There's there's a growing population of people in America, almost 30-35%. They call themselves SBNR, spiritual but not religious. So if you are coming from a monotheistic religion and you have disowned that monotheistic religion, you do not know what to do, but you meditate and you call yourself spiritual, but then you say, I'm not religious. And the reason you say, obviously, because a monotheistic concept or a construct does not satisfy you, because innately you're a polytheistic person. But then you have defined yourself, you have labeled yourself as an atheist, because you have left the monotheist, now you're an atheist. You have defined yourself, you have labeled yourself. But then you're making an exemption, but I'm spiritual but not religious. You're happy with that framework. And then you start your journey with meditation and yoga, environment, veganism. All these things are there. But then the last frontier, you have not crossed. The threshold of devotion, the threshold of surrender, the threshold of gratitude, you have not been able to cross. So you're getting the benefits of being a spiritual but not a religious person. But you are not there yet. You have a calm mind. Then you will do a little bit of philosophy or Stoic philosophy or something like that. But the final immersion that comes only with a surrender, with a sense of devotion, with a sense of gratitude is not there. So there is you're operating at a 80% human enjoyment, aesthetic experience. You're not able to immerse yourself. So you realize that there's something pricking within you. And this, my talk is, and my concept is only targeted at the SBNR, not the polytheists who are already devoted. So from a monotheist to an atheist, and then you still are not reaching that particular final frontier. So how do you convert yourself into a theist? Your intellect will not permit you. Your intellectually and your ego will say no. Your logic will say no. But then you like it when you surrender to something, when you express gratitude, you understand it, you experience that. And so how can you do it? So how does an atheist convert himself into a theist or a polytheist is the conceptual work that I want to present as an art. And that's why I want to present it in this session. This journey between a monotheism, atheism, theism to polytheism. How do you journey? How does the SBNR journey? That's the issue. So you realize the importance of gratitude. You realize the importance of surrender. Because you're already saying, I'm spiritual. So spiritual means at least you realize that there's something else larger than you. So therefore you appreciate that. I want to propose a conceptual framework for all the SBNRs around the world. First and foremost, understand that without devotion, without gratitude, without surrender, the final frontier is not crossed. No amount of mindfulness, no amount of meditations will not help you. They will only sharpen your mind. They will only help you concentrate better. But unless you learn to cross this, your ego will not be subsumed. You will still be at an intellectual level. So if you realize that simple fact that you need to surrender, you need to express gratitude. If you realize that, then what next? You have accepted that. What next? What do you do? Do I go to India? Do I go to Thailand? Or do I go to any indigenous tradition? Again, your intellect is preventing you. The intellect is preventing you from going to anyone and surrendering. Because only surrender, you know that surrender can give you the final, cross the final frontier. But then you don't know what to do. So this conceptual framework in an artistic way that I propose to you is to create your own icons. Create your own gods as an intermediary step before you discover the beautiful gods that are there all around us. I want to call this as Penta Polytheism, fivefold polytheism. I am inspired by the Gita. I'm inspired by the Panchamahayajna. And I want to use that framework of Panchamahayajna and call it for the SBNRs and say that call yourself as Penta Polytheists. And create your own icons. Start with Pitri Yajna. Your ancestors. Go and get a DNA test done. Discover ancestry.com. If you go, intellectually you can go to ancestry.com, you do your DNA, discover all your ancestors. Start with your parents, start with your grandparents, great-grandparents, go all the way up. Get images. Create a montage. This is the art form that I'm talking about. A photo montage of all your ancestors you create. And say, I respect my ancestors. I pray to my ancestors. I express my gratitude towards my ancestors. This is the Pitru Mahayajna. Similarly, you can talk about Rishi Yajna. Rishi Yajna is nothing but Brahma Yajna or Rishi Yajna. It is nothing but respect your knowledge. Intellectually, you can select Einstein to begin with. You can select Socrates. You can select any of the intellectual heroes that you have studied in your career and create photographs of them and create a montage before you discover a Saraswati or before you discover any other goddess of knowledge around the world in all our polytheist traditions. Before you get there, discover your own, you create your own icons and create a montage. As an artist, you create a montage. Then you come to Manushya Yajna. There is again a beautiful thing. There are so many icons. You have Gandhi, you have Martin Luther King, you have so many icons who have served the nation, served the country, served the people. Create a photo montage of all of them. That is polytheism, right? You don't need to select one person. You select a montage. A montage is a beautiful thing of multiple photographs where you can see all the photographs but in one form, right? Aneka Rupa. Then you can do Bhuta Yajna, which is the other animals and the natural beings around us. You can select all the beautiful scenes, all the beautiful things that as an environmentalist you must be already, if you're an SBNR, you would already be an environmentalist. Select all the beautiful animals that you love and adore and create a montage. A beautiful montage you can create, especially with nature. And then Brahma Yajna. This is then the Deva Yajna. Now you don't believe in gods yet because you're still working out your way of theism and you're creating these things. Who is the god I should pray to? I have not yet selected. How can I select an icon? What is the icon that I can select? I suggest to you, yes, in polytheism, we do not need to talk about unity of every god. Every god is agent and we do not talk about. But assuming that you have talked about. Simple thing of consciousness. Now you are already spiritual. Therefore, you already realize that there is something larger cosmic principle that is greater than you. So what is the easiest thing? As my Swamiji says, Swami Paramatmananda, he says, one of the closest things of consciousness is light, because it's an independent principle. It's not part of anything. It's not a particle of anything. It's an independent principle. The closest proximity to consciousness is light. So select Surya Bhagavan, select the sun and create a montage of beautiful montage of sun and say that this is Deva Yajna. This is the God, the larger principle. So you have a montage of knowledge. You have a montage of your ancestors. You have a montage of other people who have served the society. You have a montage of all the lovely, beautiful nature and animals. And you have a montage of a God. Select the light and create a montage and put it in a corner of your house. This is how you can select an icon as a beginning. And then from that selection comes the devotion of expressing your love. And then you start a ritual of expressing your gratitude to all of them. What is that ritual? Is select your own ritual. Choose your own ritual. Create an app and create your own ritual. How you want to spend time every day for 15 minutes discussing, engaging with all these gods that you have. You want to light an incense stick. You want to put some offering, whatever it is, that is up to you. The rituals is not important, but the fact that something you do regularly is important. So think about this. Frame it as a Penta Polytheism. So from monotheism to atheism to theism to Penta Polytheism. Frame it as Penta Polytheism. Select your own icons. Select your own icons. And remember that as many icons is more, because it's a montage. It's a conceptually, it's a montage of multiple photographs, multiple images, multiple icons. The moment you embrace multiplicity there in what you revel, you are a polytheist.